Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI-powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek.
Hey designers, welcome back to the AI for Interior Designers podcast. This is episode 27 and I'm your host, Jenna Gaidusek. Today, I am not going to be hosting this podcast. I'm going to host the beginning part of this podcast and then I'm going to turn it over to two AI hosts that I basically created an entire podcast in literally like 5 minutes from a presentation. It's wild. I'm going to tell you about it real quick, and then I'm going to let them finish out the rest of this episode because, guys, like this is mind-blowing. So if you don't know, Google has a ton of experimental AI programs that they have been rolling out. Like you can go and you can access them. I haven't gotten through all of them yet. There's like a ton. I literally have just not had time. But last night I had time to explore this one that I was insanely intrigued by. And it basically turns any PDF into a 2-person podcast. Like, what? It's so crazy, the world that we live in, guys. Okay, so here's what I did. I used the Google. It's by Google, but it's an app on my phone. I've tried to look for it on the browser. Have not been successful to find it. It's probably on there. I'm just not looking in the right spot. But it's called Notebook LM app. Okay, and it's by Google, like I said. So basically what you do is you open up this app on your phone and it can take your PDFs. Okay, so it can take PDFs, it can take websites. I'm trying to see the other sources. So Google Docs, Google Slides, website, copy and paste text, so plain text, and then website. I already said website, so like website links, and then you can upload a PDF to go with it. So basically what I just did was I took the entire presentation for the free AI workshop or webinar that I hosted yesterday. And I ran that presentation deck, the PDF, along with, actually, I didn't even use the landing page for this one. I used a different one. I created another podcast after this one because it's addicting. But I took that PDF from the presentation and uploaded it. And then I got a 9-minute podcast, basically just talking about me, promoting the webinar that I hosted and talking about like an overview of all the things. I will say, and I'm not going to edit it so you can hear like everything that they said. There's like just a couple of things that were like a little bit untrue. So I recommend that you listen to my webinar and actually see what those things were. I'm curious to see if you pick up on what they are. Nothing major where it's like going to make it or break it, but like just a few little minor things where I was like, I don't know that is exactly right, which makes me kind of want to go back and look at presentations and be like, is that how that comes off? Because that's not how I wanted it to come off. So anyway, like when it's reinterpreted by somebody else that only has the words and then recaps what those words are in a conversation, that's what you're about to hear. So this is wild. I'm going to see if maybe this is like a new little part to this podcast. I'm just kind of curious about it. But one use case that I thought was very interesting for this is when you are potentially like onboarding new clients. Okay, so either you're onboarding a new client or a new design, like a team member. Okay, so let's say you're onboarding a new person to do whatever. You probably have some sort of operating procedures, right? Like you have your decks, you've got like, here's when we do this, when we bring on a new client, this is what we do. This is our operations. So hopefully you have that written down somewhere, right? Those things are gold for AI, guys. If you have PDFs, if you have documents, if you have meeting notes. And if you don't have meeting notes yet, go get yourself a meeting recorder, both virtual for Fathom is what I use, or I have this new one called Plaud, Plaud. I got it up from Amazon. I will link it below. But basically what that one does is it's like the old school recorder where you can put it in the middle of the room and, interrogations. I'm just going to listen to what everybody's saying. But not interrogations. You would take this for like meetings, and stuff like that in showrooms or at your client's house. But it's just a recording that also connects to the app and gives you the transcript that you can then push to ChatGPT or Claude by Anthropic. And you can then, use those notes to create content, to create project details, like next steps for things, whatever you want to do with it. Transcripts are gold, right? So tangent, but you should have one of those. So anyway, let's say that you have transcripts and stuff like that from meetings, from onboarding, new clients, new employees, whatever it is, if you can upload it, you can create a podcast about it using this app. Absolutely wild. Let me know what you guys think. I'm seriously intrigued by this. Like the use cases are really incredible. And the reason why I personally think that is because I don't like reading. Reading for me is just, I'm slow at reading. I always have been. And I feel like maybe mildly dyslexic, if I'm being totally honest with you. Like I just always transpose numbers, letters, literally forget. That's probably the ADHD that I'm reading. And then I have to read things over and over again. So that's just why I prefer audio. So if somebody could give me a PDF or a video format, sorry, not a PDF, but a audio format from a PDF and make it interesting, then yeah, I'm going to do that versus trying to sit here and read a PDF because it's just not how my brain works. And I know a lot of people, especially kids these days, would much rather either hear it or watch it. And this is the new way of delivering written text information to people that don't like to read, or can't absorb the information well from reading, like myself. So that's where we're at. All right. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Super curious to hear your thoughts. All right.
AI, right? It's unavoidable these days, wouldn't you say? And for interior designers, it's not just hype, it's really changing the game. The thing is, who actually has the time to figure out what's useful in all of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Designers are busy designing. No one wants to spend all day trying to become a software engineer just to keep up.
Exactly.
That's what's so great about Jenna Gaidusek's presentation. It's called An Introduction to the Future of Design.
Oh, I love her.
And she just cuts through all the noise and gives this really practical roadmap for integrating AI.
She's a fantastic resource, too. I mean, she founded eDesign Tribe, and then that was acquired by Myodoma Studio. And on top of that, she's advising all these tech companies on AI. So she gets design, and she gets the tech.
Totally. And I think what stood out to me was how she defines AI for designers. She emphasizes that it's not about replacing your creativity.
Yeah.
It's about these tools almost acting as an extension of your thinking.
It's like having a super-powered assistant who's like, I know what you're going for, I can help you get there, maybe even better than you could alone.
Yeah.
Which brings us to that question that Jenna tackles, why now? It's not like this technology is brand new, so why the sudden explosion of AI design tools?
Yeah, it really boils down to accessibility. These tools are just becoming so user-friendly, you don't have to be a coder or anything to use them.
That's what's so exciting. I mean, I think that's what's really got people's attention, that it's not this thing where you have to go back to school or whatever to be able to utilize it. It's something that's, pretty quickly you can adapt to it and use in your business. So we know these tools are out there, but how can they actually make designers' lives easier?
Well, Jenna breaks down the benefits into 4 main areas.
Yeah.
Enhanced creativity, increased efficiency,
Okay.
personalized AI assistance, and improved collaboration.
Let's unpack those. Let's start with that enhanced creativity, because I think that's ultimately what we're always striving for. How does AI help me be more creative?
Right. And I think it's important to clarify, it's not that AI is coming up with the ideas for you. Right. It's more that it gives you the ability to just test out so many different things so quickly. So it really expands your creative possibilities. Like imagine being able to explore all the different variations of a design or try out different palettes, different furniture arrangements just in seconds.
Yeah, like brainstorming on steroids or something.
Exactly. And that actually ties into the next benefit. Increased efficiency. Because think about it. How much time do you spend on these repetitive tasks, like drafting proposals or writing product descriptions, creating those mood boards?
Way too much time.
Right.
Essential, but such a time suck.
Exactly. So this is where those large language models, or LLMs, come into play.
LLMs. Sounds kind of intimidating, but I'm guessing it's not as complicated as it sounds.
No, not at all. It's not like you have to learn how to code or anything like that. Think of it this way. It's like, imagine if you could give a really, really smart computer access to like every book, every article, every website ever written.
Okay.
So it learns all these patterns in language, how to write in different styles, all sorts of information. And then you get to use that to help you with your design work.
Okay, so instead of staring at a blank page when I'm trying to write a proposal for a client, I could have this LLM help me draft something amazing.
Exactly. LLMs can help you generate product descriptions that are actually engaging. You can draft emails, summarize those crazy long industry reports, even come up with like social media captions.
Wow, it's like having like this whole team of writers and researchers at your disposal ready to tackle all those tasks that you just like don't even want to think about.
Exactly.
So where does this whole Chat GPT thing fit in? Because I keep hearing about it, but I haven't actually checked it out yet.
Yeah, ChatGPT is a great example of an LLM. Like it's actually an LLM.
Okay.
And it's really powerful. Jenna really recommends downloading the app. And she even says the paid version is worth it because you get more personalized results.
What does that mean, though, like personalized results for an interior designer? What does that look like?
So imagine you could have an AI assistant that actually gets your design style, right? Your ideal client, your business goals. And this is where custom GPTs come in.
Custom GPT. So now we're talking about like AI that learns the ropes of my business.
Exactly.
Okay.
Jenna gives these great examples in the presentation, like the ideal client avatar buddy.
I love that.
Right. Or like a budget buddy. So let's say you're trying to attract a certain kind of client.
Right.
Maybe they're all about sustainability or they all love, mid-century modern, whatever it is.
Totally.
You could tell your ideal client avatar buddy everything about them, their style, budget, even their lifestyle.
It's like having a marketing strategist on call 24/7 who is like laser focused on just getting you your dream client.
Exactly.
Blah.
And then the budget buddy, that could be a lifesaver.
Yes. Tell me more, because keeping things on track budget-wise is like always top of mind.
Totally. So you could tell it your pricing, your typical material costs, labor estimates, all of that.
Right.
And then when you start working with a client, you can actually use it to like do cost projections in real time.
That would be a game changer. Like in those client consultations when they say like, well, what if we did this instead? And you're like, let me get back to you.
Exactly.
But instead you could just be like.
Instantly.
Like,
let me just check my budget, buddy.
Yes. Yeah. Love it.
And then you can have those real conversations about budget. And then speaking of game changers, let's talk about Stable Diffusion.
Oh.
This one is all about visuals.
Okay, Stable Diffusion. Bring on the visuals, because I'm always looking for ways to up my design presentation game. So Jenna mentioned something about Stable Diffusion being able to like retain structure with updates or something like that. What does that even mean?
So it's kind of like having a virtual renovation crew. Like say you take a photo of your client's living room. With Stable Diffusion, you could keep all the basic stuff, the walls, but you could swap out the furniture, the colors, the flooring, all virtually.
Wait, so I could take a picture of like my really messy home office, which needs help, by the way, and use Stable Diffusion to make it look like some kind of serene, minimalist workspace.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And it's not just furniture. Like you can do different lighting, different textures. You can even like add artwork. It's really amazing.
That's incredible. That would totally change how I do presentations for clients.
Totally. And it's not just for interiors either. Jen also talked about using it for landscaping. So if you want to show clients like, okay, here's your yard with new patio or with a garden, Stable Diffusion can do it.
Landscaping too. Wow. See, the applications for this stuff just never end, do they?
It's really incredible how much AI is like pushing the boundaries. And speaking of which, Jenna's presentation, she also gets into generative AI.
Generative AI, that's where it feels like we're really stepping into the future. I've played around with like Deli and Adobe Firefly and Midjourney, all of those, and it's kind of like, whoa, it feels like you're creating something from nothing.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just like putting in words, and then all of a sudden there's this visual. But as Jenna points out, it's not about replacing those really polished renderings you'd create later in the process.
Right. It's more about capturing a feeling or a mood.
Exactly, yeah. It's like when you're in those really early stages of a project and you're trying to like nail down the overall direction. With generative AI, you can actually create these visuals that represent like the core concept. Like imagine saying to a client, okay, picture a living room. It has that like cozy minimalism of Scandinavian design, but with a little bit of mid-century modern just for fun, a ton of natural light, and then you could show them images that evoke that.
That would be amazing, to be able to take something that's so abstract and actually make it visual.
Totally. And she talks about how the key to all of this is how you craft the prompts, like what you actually tell the AI to create. Jenna actually gives this breakdown of like the anatomy of a good prompt and how to use really descriptive language to get the results you want.
So it's not just typing in modern living room. It's like you really have to paint a picture with words.
Yeah, exactly. Colors, textures, mood, even like the feeling you want to get across. It's really interesting.
It's like having a conversation, but you're speaking in design language, basically.
Totally. And I love that because it really is a collaboration in a way.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you don't have to be some kind of expert to use these tools.
Yeah.
Just start experimenting,
Yeah.
See what happens.
It's like Jenna said, let's prompt. It's about having fun with it, right?
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot today. We talked about what AI even is. We talked about tools like ChatGPT, Stable Diffusion, generative AI. I mean, it feels like the possibilities are kind of endless, but it's also like, where do I even begin?
Yeah, it's easy to get overwhelmed, but I think Jenna's main takeaway is so important, which is that this isn't about replacing designers.
Right.
It's about giving us tools to do what we do even better.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. To be more creative, more efficient, more collaborative. At the end of the day, we're still the ones designing incredible spaces for people.
And maybe even having a little fun while we do it. Because let's be honest, this tech stuff is pretty cool.
It really is. It's an amazing time to be a designer. And if you've been on the fence about AI, I think this is your sign to just go for it. Explore, play around, see what you can create.
You might just discover your next design superpower.
So what do we think about that? Like, that's crazy, right? Okay, let me know. Comments. Tell me, are you guys going to use this for your business? Are you going to wait for it to get a little bit longer, better? Or is it something that like you're going to go play with right now? Let me know. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to tell your friends about this podcast. I will be at IDS National Conference in Santa Fe. I leave on Sunday. So this is being recorded on my portion on the 25th of September. So hopefully I will see you guys either at the conference if you're listening now or at High Point Market next month. Cannot wait for that. I'll be on a few panels. So hope to see you guys there. All right. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.